Okay, hopefully my hair doesn't look extremely greasy, because she is. It really is. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and I like to do fashion DIYs. And today's DIY is inspired by my love for little boy jeans. I love to thrift little boy jeans, and one of the biggest reasons why is because most of them have an adjustable elastic waist in them. And why those aren't in every pair of jeans for everyone, I will never know. So today I'm going to fix that problem by adding some elastic to my jeans. And I do want to make it adjustable, so that is why I have this elastic with the buttonhole feature in it. So you can find this in your local fabric store, or you can probably just order it online. I have white and I also have black, just depending on the color of denim that I'm using. But today I'm going to be using the white, and I have a pair of these like mom style denim shorts that I like the way they fit on the legs, but on the waist they're just, I'm swimming in them. And I don't know what it is lately, but I have not been a belt person. Like, I don't know, I just feel like belts are not my vibe these days. So whenever I have to wear these shorts, I have to wear a belt, and then it just like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. So that's why I'm going to fix this. And honestly, I haven't done this, but I think it's pretty easy. And this is actually something that you don't need a sewing machine for, so you can do this completely by hand. So yeah, hopefully this tutorial is going to be easy and all of you guys can follow along. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so for this tutorial, you are going to need your pair of jeans that you are going to be taking in. You are going to need the elastic. You're also going to need a button that will fit in the buttonhole of the elastic, thread, and also any type of cutting device. Either a seam ripper or fabric scissors will do. A seam ripper will probably be a little bit easier. Okay, let's get started. As you can see, there's a little bit of extra room here, maybe about 2 inches that I would love for it to be taken in, because naturally it just sits like just below the belly button, and I want it to sit up here. So we are going to fix that. So the first thing that we are going to do is make 2 slits. Keep in mind that the waistband in the denim has 2 layers. We're just going to be cutting through the 1 layer. Next, to just figure out my placement of the slit, I am just going to measure out maybe like 4.5 inches. Okay, I'm actually gonna move it back a bit just because that's where it is on the jeans I'm wearing. So maybe I'm gonna add an extra like 1.5 inches. Yeah. So in total, I'm doing 6 inches. So this is my line. I'm just gonna make sure I'm gonna separate these 2 pieces of fabric by pulling them apart. A trick just to make sure you don't go too far is to put a needle on either side to stop the seam ripper. Just gonna go in with scissors to make it a little bit bigger. And I just want to test it to make sure it can kind of fit. Now that both sides are cut, I'm actually gonna go back in with a hand needle and clean up this loop. I'm just gonna do a rough stitch around it just to help it prevent it from fraying. This part is totally optional, and you can also use like a type of fabric glue if you have it. I don't, so I'm just gonna stitch it up by hand. So to do a belt loop by hand, you just basically stitch around the belt loop. Very fun stuff. Okay, so this is my makeshift buttonhole. It's by no means perfect, but I just want it not to fray as much when I wash it. So now I'm actually going to sew on the buttons. So to figure that out, I have my elastic and a jar of buttons, and I'm just gonna find one that like fits comfortably through the hole. But you still want to make sure it's not too small because you don't want it to slide out when you're moving around. So I'm going to use this yellow guy, and this is all on the inside so you're not going to see it. Okay, so to sew on the button, I'm gonna do it about 1 inch away from the buttonhole. And I'm just gonna start from the inside here, and I will catch one of the holes on the button and pull it through. So it just takes a little bit of patience because I'm only sewing it so it doesn't go through the other side. So I'm going through this slit that we made. So it's just gonna take a little bit of time to get it right. I'm just gonna continue to sew both ways, around and around, and just keep checking to make sure it's not going through the back. Now, once you've done numerous times going around, you're gonna go to the empty buttonhole and repeat the process. So once you have gone back and forth several times, I'm gonna feed the needle just underneath the button, like so. And then you're gonna wrap it around a few times and give it a little pull. And then I will typically just stitch it right back through, and this is where I'll tie the knot and I'll like loop it through so it knots. And you can do that a couple times just so you can make sure it's really secure, and then you cut it off. So I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other side and I'll be right back. So I wrapped the elastic around my waist and just added an extra belt loop or two before trimming it. So now that both of my buttons are attached, I am going to take a safety pin and my elastic and feed it through one side. And the other side, I'm actually just going to attach to the jeans. This way I won't lose it when I am feeding it through. So something like this is probably the most tedious part of it. You just kind of need to like slowly feed it through. Okay, so I have feeded it through the other side and made sure that it's laying flat. So I'm just going to unhook that and I'm going to just secure it into place on the button here, and I'm gonna try it on and adjust it from there. So once you've adjusted it, and if you notice you have quite a bit of elastic, you can just go ahead and trim off some of that extra. I'm just gonna take off about 3 buttonholes on either side, and it's done. So that pretty much sums it up for this tutorial. I do want to also mention that sometimes denim will have a logo or some sort of tag that is stitched in that you might need to seam rip out and re-stitch in. So you might have to use a sewing machine for that, but it really just depends on the denim that you are using. So yeah. Overall, this tutorial is incredibly easy. It really only took me like half an hour to do the whole thing. So that is it for today's video, guys. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fashion DIY content. And yeah, I don't know, hit me up on Instagram if you want to see more of my primary color worlds. And aside from that, I will catch you in the next one. Bye.